Hello, this is May the 15th already. How is this going? The year's almost halfway through. But today we're going to be talking about speculative katophatic spirituality, which kind of head spirituality. We'll talk about what that means. So if you look at the top right-hand corner, where under cognitive, um, so folks in this right-hand quadrant, where I fall into very strongly, like clarity of thought, and study groups, theological reflections, imminent ritual. Imminent ritual means you experience God through ritual that you can point to and touch, very tactile. Holy Communion, like the sacraments, are very tactile and bodily, but also something we can think about. And so folks who are on this side of the wheel, these folks provide the theological undergirding of what we say we believe and the things we say we experience of God through our own experiences of spirituality. Because for me, over the years, what attracted me to Lutheranism was this strong theological foundation on which Lutheran theology is built. And that was very attractive to me because I wanted to think, what does all this mean? A good Lutheran question, what does this mean? And how do the pieces all fit together? When I finished seminary, I almost took a doctorate in systematic theology. And I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm glad I am where I am and did the doctoral work I did, mainly because I felt my own experience with the intellectual world began to see its limitations. And so I moved on from thinking theologically to thinking more spiritually. I think that's because as a preacher, one of the questions we ask ourselves, once we've done all the studying, once we put the text in historical context, once we've decoded the language, once we put all these pieces together, the question that we ask ourselves is, so what? What does this actually mean for our lives? And that's when the application comes in. And after almost 23 years of writing about theological application, I began to realize that putting all the theological pieces together doesn't really meet the actual need of where people are at, and even where I'm at. And so my own thinking, my own intellectual work, my own academic work has shifted from theological thinking, which is more speculative and abstract, to spirituality, the lived experience of the sacred. What does this mean? So what? And that's where the shadow side of this type comes in. The danger is rationalism, that is all in the head, that has no life application whatsoever. And we see this in still in a lot of Lutheran circles, is that we have to understand the Orthodox Lutheran, what is a correct Lutheran position. And we're seeing this a lot on social media now with these young, they're called Theo Bros, neo-Calvinist preachers who go on Twitter and other social media to correct people's theology, to make sure that all the pieces are fit together the way they understand them. It doesn't matter if it's applied. It only matters if you think and believe correctly. And the danger there is that it creates divisions. It takes the human dynamic out of the conversation, and it's all about thinking and believing in the right way, making sure the pieces fit together precisely, rather than allowing the messiness of the human experience inform our understanding of God. And that is still a legitimate experience of God. We don't have to get it all correct. And that was a big learning for me over the years, that Christianity isn't about getting it all right. It's about loving your neighbor and loving enemy, loving God, and serving the world. So where do you connect? Do you connect with this type? Do you like to think about the faith? Do you like to talk about the ideas, the grand ideas, and even the intricate little pieces that make up our faith? Is this something you find interesting? Do you find yourself reading lots of books about the historical Jesus, or reading theology to try to figure out how this all works and gets put together? If so, that's awesome. You provide the framework for a lot of what people experience. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the opposite of head spirituality. We're going to be talking about affective or heart spirituality. So check it out on Wednesday.